Good afternoon. Welcome to Three Themes Live. I've got Suzanne with me today, and it's always fun to see your smiling face on this beautiful spring day.
It is beautiful.
How is it for all of you out there? We'd love to hear, the weather's kind of crazy right now, so depending on what part of the country you're in, you might have snow or you might have beautiful spring flowers popping up. Either way, we're so happy to have you here on Three Themes Live, where theme number 1 is something to smile about, theme number 2 is something to learn, and theme number 3 is something to discover. Let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Three Themes Live. I'm Kris here at my girlfriend's Quilt Shop, and I'm so happy that you decided to be with us today. All week long, we've been talking about our Stitch Your Story theme this week, and this month, the theme is legend. So it could be more of a serious side of things about a legend that has been handed down in your family, or what many of us as contributors have taken the route of is something a little bit more humorous. And we definitely have those today as well, because I've got Suzanne and Allison with me today. Hello, ladies.
Hello. Hello.
Oh my goodness, are you feeling that spring weather?
Oh my word, no, it's freezing. I have been cold for 6 months, so I'm like, if I dress a little bit spring. But I have to tell you, it snowed all day yesterday.
Yes.
April Fool's Day joke here in Utah.
Oh, I know.
And I called my mom, and she's like, it has not quit snowing. But I have to tell you a fun story.
Okay.
My mom she studied in Europe, studied abroad in college, so through a college program. And she bought some Dutch tulip bulbs when she was in college.
Wow.
Now, you guys all know how old I am, right? I have grandkids. So
Wow.
my mom has babied these Dutch tulip bulbs for her entire life. And we moved several times, and we would be out there in the middle of moving, digging up my mom's tulip bulbs so she could move her Dutch tulips with her. She said she thought maybe this year was the end of the Dutch tulip bulbs, but she said they came up yesterday in the middle of the snow.
Oh my goodness.
Those tulips have
That's
come
proof
up,
spring
so
is
I
coming.
think spring is coming.
I think so too. And those Dutch tulips, I mean, my goodness.
My
they
poor
are
dad.
strong.
I mean, I can just imagine when my mom's like, we're not moving unless the bulbs come with it. And so he's out there digging up her Dutch tulips.
That's so funny.
Oh my goodness. Well, a good dad, a good gardener for your mom.
Oh, she's amazing.
I mean, that's
I did not inherit
happy
that.
life.
happy life, happy life, that's for sure. Oh my goodness. How are you doing, Suzanne?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
I'm just kind of doing the same old, same old.
Yeah.
You know,
Sewing
watching-
and sewing some more.
and sewing some more, and talking to kids and talking to grandkids. So
You gotta love it.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, this week we've been talking about legend and and families. And yesterday, if you were with us, we talked a little bit about the Shelley family legend at the backyard.
Kris, I would not have believed that without the pictures. All of a sudden, when I'm seeing your tree house, so to speak, that was hilarious.
Not kidding. I know.
If you have not watched that, go back, because that
negative
is
tree
just
house.
a little
The negative tree.
That was a little peek into Kris's
The
childhood.
tree house minus the tree. Yeah. But you both have some pretty funny family legends as well, don't you?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know everyone out there has a funny legend too. In fact, you were sharing those one words yesterday that had you smiling, had you thinking about your family legend. So I hope that this week inspires you to get to work and put together those quilt blocks based on your family legends, because that to us is going to just nothing's better than
Those
seeing
are the
their
things.
pictures, right?
Those are the things that go down in history and that everybody loves to tell and
Definitely.
retell. And I
Very
tell you,
true.
when you did Stitch Your Story, I had ideas on everyone except this month,
Really?
and then all of a sudden they just started coming.
They just started coming.
Right, because I did a block on Monday. I
Yeah.
have another block today to share.
I know. I cannot wait for you to share yours today because I'm still laughing about it. It might live down in your family legend, but I think it's just going to live in my mind forever because it is
Right.
just too funny. But
You have to wait till the
Suzanne,
end.
That's right. That's going to be during theme number 3. But Suzanne, let's start out. Tell us your
Well,
family legend and
I
show
had
us the
several.
cool block.
Some of them weren't fit for consumption by general audiences.
Yes.
Because but they were family things that occurred. But when the kids were littler, we used to live in Fallbrook, California. Next door to that was a base that very few people knew about. It was a naval weapons base. It was an ordnance base where they stored ordnance, you know.
Sure.
And there was only 7 families that could live on that base, which was really fun for us. I called that my kids' Huck Finn time of their life.
Oh, I
So
love
I mean,
that.
they just went crazy all day. It was great, but it's just a silly little thing that we used to always do. There was a big red and white water tower on the base, and you could see it from everywhere. Sometimes even from our property on the base, you could see the ocean all the way out there.
Sure.
Wow.
And that was a good ways away. Because Oceanside was between us and Camp Pendleton. So,
Oh, there we see a picture on the screen. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. And so it was very visible. But one day, I don't remember who said it, but they screamed in the car. We were all in the car. My kids were younger. And one said, "I see the water tower. Everyone else has to walk home." So I know, it's just a weird thing that they did. So whenever we would get within sight of it, even if we were clear down in Oceanside or San Marcos or someplace like that.
Yeah.
Someone would say it, and we'd stop and pretend we were getting out of the car, and whoever said it got to stay and didn't have to walk. But it was just kind of a funny family thing, and it never ended.
Wow.
It was just kind of a silly thing we did.
Oh
So-
my goodness.
Okay, so tell the truth,
yes.
Suzanne. Did you ever make them walk home when they said it? You said you pretended.
If we were on the base, some
Okay.
of the kids did get out and walk.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
which was a mile
Too
up to the house.
funny.
Which was a mile
Wow.
up to the house. So,
Now, is that water tower still there?
I bet it's not.
Okay.
I bet it's not because they did demolish that base.
Oh,
Which
then
is
it probably
heartbreaking
is
to
gone.
me.
Yes.
It was $1 million view.
Wow.
And our housing was built back in the 40s, I think it was. Yeah. It was so cool.
So
It was
that is
awesome.
definitely
Half acre
living
of-
Ashman legend.
Oh,
that
it was-
the water tower.
Yep.
The walking
it
home.
will be there. Well, they'll recognize it by the block in my quilt. so-
Okay, you've got to share your
I know,
block. 'cause
your block
it
is so good.
beautiful.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
so
Yes.
beautiful.
you saw the picture. This is my block.
Oh,
So-
Suzanne.
Can you see that okay? Okay.
Is that not so
I
fantastic?
love
It
this.
was just all trial and error to put it together.
Really?
It was. So
Wow.
if you
That's
saw
the fun part about
picture-
those blocks, don't
Yeah.
you think, is that you can trial and error and
I
trial
just-
and
yeah.
scrap and error.
The way that I put this part together was I just sewed the middle one down, and then I put the things on, or I sewed the middle one down, and then the middle leg, and then I just sewed these 2 blue ones, and then just cut those, and then stuck it in until
you
it
made
fit.
it work.
Stuck it in until it fit. That's right.
You made it work. I
So-
love that. So you're
so-
going to share the story in your quilt.
I am.
And I think that's absolutely perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
very
Love it.
fitting and very reminiscent of
It
that
was.
water
I
tower.
can't wait until I see a water tower with you in the car, Suzanne. Any water tower, I'm gonna shout out. I see the water tower. Suzanne's
out and
walking
walk.
home.
Exactly.
And I've got a long way to walk home from
I
here.
don't think we'll ever forget that for sure. Well, that is great. Thank you so much for sharing that story,
Sure.
and thank you for sharing the block, because I hope what this does is inspire all of you at home to really think there are no rules to stitch your story. There really aren't. I mean, you could applique, you could piece,
Yeah.
you could paint, you could do collage, you could do anything. And it really is up to you and your own creativity. If you were to be a machine embroiderer, and maybe you had an embroidery machine that had a picture of a water tower, stitch that
Do
out.
that,
You
yeah,
know,
it'd be
maybe you don't
beautiful.
feel comfortable with putting together your own block. that's okay. Use what you have, use the resources you have, and get stitching away. I don't think you'll regret it one bit.
I like to think of this as free-form art because
there
honestly,
we go. Yes.
everything we do is like, you can put anything into this. It's really quite fun.
It really is.
Maybe you can't think of how to translate that into a quilt block.
So
Maybe you just do the words. I mean,
Yep.
just
Yep.
mimeograph them or whatever, and just do the words on a block so that you have words on that block.
That's true.
That's a
when
great
you see
idea.
my block, maybe it will also inspire because it's a little bit of a different take.
It is.
On my story. So.
And I love it. Now, as promised, we said that, during the first week of every month, we would, not only share our stories, but we would give ideas, lots of different ideas of techniques of things that you could do on your blocks, whether it's this month's block or last month's or months to come. It's fine. All of these techniques we want you to store away and keep in mind so when the perfect opportunity comes, you're ready for it. And so today, for theme number 2,
I'm so scared.
Allison and Suzanne are going to be sharing a little bit more about thread sketching. Thread sketching, just a fun technique that you could do with just about anything, and they're going to show you exactly how to do it right after this. With a typical log cabin, we're looking at the same size width of strips, but the reason why this one is different is because we have a very thin strip that goes here and a very thin strip here, where these are actually much wider.
So that is my center block.
Okay.
Do you see this one? That
Yeah.
doesn't match. What you need to do, I'm going to sew the white to the blue. I'm going to attach this to the blue and the white, so
Yeah.
it has to be as long as the two are joined. Here's my white.
Okay, and this is a much narrower strip.
It is the narrower one. It goes right there.
My guess is we're going to add another white where the wider
White,
now,
yes.
right?
Then
Okay, so you just keep on doing this
keep
round and
going.
round.
It's the exact size.
Whoa.
The sun is out and spring is here on Three Things Live.
That's right. There were bunnies, chicks, and carrots. Oh my, that's hilarious.
Oh, these projects are so stinking adorable. I just want to make them all.
Well, you definitely can, Kyle, and you can too. We showed you how to get up and running in no time.
And don't forget, we had Mark Anderson from Anderson Seed and Garden drop by, and he shared some great gardening tips. Trust me, you want to hear what he said.
Take the fun to the next level by watching live every Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Mountain or 3 p.m. Eastern.
Dun, dun, dun. It is the chick.
So catch up on all this and so much more by clicking on the links below.
Three Things Live is where we always have something to make you smile
Something to learn.
and something to discover.
Let's go!
Hello.
Does
welcome
my
back.
face register fear?
It shouldn't.
Welcome back to Three Things Live. I'm Allison.
I'm Suzanne.
And we are so excited to teach you a new technique. And by new technique, this is the first time I have ever attempted this technique, and I am scared.
You don't need to be scared because, like I was saying earlier, it is total free-form art. There is no rule to this. So we're going to talk about thread sketching. Now, let me give you a few examples
Okay.
of what I did.
All right.
So I had to start, I did not bring my worst one because it was awful.
That will be me today.
No, you'll be surprised how easy it is.
Okay.
I brought my practices and I was trying to think, okay, so what can I do? Thread sketching is very much like, what kind of quilting? Oh, free motion quilting.
Turn it the other way. So
Oh,
yes.
yeah, sorry, I forgot about
that's
that.
Okay.
So these are my practices. First, I started with this
Look how
grass
cool
down
that
here.
is.
And then I also started, I thought, well, I'm going to applique it on fabric. But I thought, that's kind of cheating. I fused it down, and I'm like, That's not cheating. I can do
Doodle
whatever I want.
applique is where you kind of applique the fabric and then doodle over the top of it.
It
Thread
worked out great.
sketching is more when you just use your thread
I'm using my thread. So
to make the design.
then I went and practiced a flower by itself. It's you really just, if you get the technique of straight lines, wavy lines, zigzags and things like that, then you should be fine. But you just have to
Look at
practice
your
it.
guy. I mean, you know.
But this is my dentist.
You sketched your dentist.
I did, because he was one of my students when I was working at the dental school I used to work at. So I thought, well, I'm going to give it a try because I have the pictures of my students.
Right.
This is pretty distinct because, you know, he had that look. So,
It's those teeth. I mean, of course he
Yeah,
was a
I
dentist
know.
with those teeth.
So anyway, that was my attempt there. Then I went on and I tried, well, I'm just going to do it with just the thread. And you can see this is pretty awful right here. But you can see that, you know, sometimes even the jankier the better. You know what I mean? The little wigglier the better.
I mean, it's not supposed to.
It's not going to look perfect.
Right. It's not supposed to be perfect.
Sketching is kind of an impression.
Right.
You know, to me. So there's that one. And then I started practicing, and I thought, hey, I've got watercolors, you know, like, they're like little paint watercolors.
Okay.
And I went ahead and painted on this. First I did my sketch, and then I painted it in.
Okay, now I love this idea.
So
it's
fun.
not really applique. You
Nope.
painted the things, and
Just
then you
painted.
kind of
Yep.
sketched right over the top of that.
You could even do this with just colored pencil. If
Or
you can get the
crayon.
colored pencils or crayon, if
Yeah.
you get it wet.
Yep.
Like I said, it's a total free-form art.
All right.
It's really fun.
I can't
So,
stand it anymore. Let's get started, Suzanne.
You're
Tell us
going.
how to do this, because if I don't get started, I'm going to throw up.
Please don't, because if you do, I will.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no throwing up on the set. So,
All right.
so first thing you're going to do, you're going to practice straight lines. So if
Okay.
you look at this really quick, you're going to go over the line multiple times. You can start up here and go toward you, or start down here and go away from you.
Okay.
So I'm just.
Okay, now how do we
also-
prepare our fabric? Yes.
Yes, if you're using regular cotton fabric, just straight up quilting fabric, use a Shape Flex or SF101 or the Kimberbell
Flex. Yeah,
Shape Flex, the backing, the Kimberbell soft backing,
Fusible
fusible
backing.
backing. Because then you're not going to get the puckers like you would if you aren't using it.
Okay, and you probably want to spray starch your fabric really well.
You can, but
Okay.
this really does make a huge
Okay, perfect.
difference.
So we're going to back our fabric.
Okay.
And then how do we set up our machine to do this?
You have to be able to drop your feed dogs, and there
Okay.
is going to be a tips and tricks page for you guys later.
Yes, thank
that
you,
can just
Nicole.
look at.
Let's
Yes,
give a big,
Nicole and
huge
Kathy.
shout out to Nicole. She put
Yep.
that together for
Yes,
us
appreciate
really
it so
quickly.
much.
So,
And then, so if you've got to drop your feed dogs,
Okay.
and you need a foot that's called, it's either a free motion quilting foot or a hopper or a
open toe.
Open toe.
Yeah,
yes.
something that
and
you
can
can
see
see.
it's on the machine already if you look
Okay,
at that one.
yep. So if we can look, so see how it has this open toe on this machine just right here so that you can actually see. And then
The fun thing-
we are on the
This
Altair
one's so
2.
easy to get set
and
up.
so we are just dropping
Push
our feed
that
dogs.
button. That's
Yep.
it. All right, so I'm going to give you this. It's ready for you to go.
Okay.
Now
Ah!
decide if you want to start. I think it's a little easier to start here and then go away from you because you can see what you've stitched.
Okay, all right.
So, but I'll do it either way. And you're
Okay.
going to go back and forth over that line close, not directly
Okay, so
over
I'm
it.
just going to make a straight line.
So if you just go ahead and drop your presser foot,
Okay.
and then
go. Okay,
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
moving.
set the speed.
Okay, I'm going to move
change
my
your speed if
speed
you need to.
low and slow.
But you've got to make your hands move slow with the slow. Because now you're getting too big of a skip there.
Oh, okay.
So if you stop for a sec, now let's speed you up a little bit. Because
Okay.
honestly, I think you can do it.
Okay, all right.
If you just go like this, use your hands, go that and that.
Okay,
Just a smooth movement
so
like that. You can do it. Don't pull too fast. If you just watch the thread,
Oh,
See?
look at me go. Okay.
yeah, it's not bad. Go back and forth one more time.
Okay.
Go up to the top.
I think I can go a little faster.
Yeah, you
Suzanne.
can, honestly.
Yeah, that's a little bit, so don't try to go too slow with it. That's a little bit easier.
Okay, so
Okay,
now-
I have a stem.
You've got a stem.
Stem. Okay. Now I need to go it to the top, right? Because
Right.
we're going to do
you
some
can do
curves.
that, or you can stop in the middle and we can make a leaf. So,
Oh, a leaf. Okay. Let's
doesn't
stop
matter.
in the middle. Let's make a leaf.
all right.
Okay.
So now But, so you really should, take some time to practice on straight lines because that's going to be important.
Okay.
They don't have to always be perfect on top of each other. If you look at this right here, they're not right there. If you look at this one, they're not on top of each other. They just give the impression,
Okay.
like sketching does.
Okay.
So for a leaf, let's do a little bit of a curve. Just,
Okay.
And go back and forth on it 3 times. Yep.
You know what would make this easier for me? And maybe the first
And I'm
couple
going
of
to
times.
I'm going to let you do that in a minute. You tell me what you're thinking.
I would draw with a pencil.
But I want you to get this down first so that your hands
Okay.
are.
All right.
It's-
I'm gonna cut this because I want them to see what a bad job I did.
It's not bad. It's really not
Okay.
bad. It's
Let's pull this over so they can
look
see.
how-
Look at my
it's
one
great.
leaf. My
It
tulip
really
has
is
one
great.
leaf.
No, it looks great.
Did
So
you know
now-
tulips are my favorite flower?
it?
So I'm going to do a tulip.
you're gonna do a tulip up
but
here.
The
Like-
deer got to this one, so
Yeah.
that's why it only has one leaf.
And no bloom.
Yeah.
So, but here's a tulip for you right
Okay,
here. So you're
perfect.
going to draw one on here, okay?
Okay.
You can draw it in the middle wherever you want it. So you
Okay.
take this over there and you can draw it.
And we're using a friction
use
pen,
a regular
right?
friction pin.
Okay, now as luck would have it, Suzanne, I did put friction pens on new releases.
Yes.
And I also put the fusible
Yep, good. And the little.
and the cinch sacks.
Yep.
Okay, so,
Okay. Can you see her tulip she drew?
oh man, here
You're
we
gonna
go.
stitch over that at least 2 times.
At least
because
2
you've
times.
Got, it's much nicer when it's a little bit thicker and you can see it.
This is bad, bad, bad.
You got to practice. You got to start somewhere, Allison.
Okay. You said you didn't bring your first one.
I did not bring my first one. I was too shocked. I thought I was
Okay,
a better
this is one
artist
of
than
those
that.
fringy top tulips.
That's okay. Those are beautiful. And then you
You
can
guys
go
all
in
know
and
what I'm
color it.
talking about, right?
I do. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Bad, bad. Okay.
But the fun thing about this, let's
Feel
bring
free
that
to
over here.
judge and share in the comments.
Let me show you something. Let's bring that over here. So, as poor as you think this is, you can always correct that as you go. So like, oh,
With
I
the
went a little
seam
too far
ripper.
out there. No. I went a little too far out there, so I'll just fill it in with more lines so it looks like it's a little bit more like it should be here.
Oh,
You know what
so
I'm
like
saying?
it's intentional.
So-
Okay.
And it should look intentional.
Okay, well, I am never going to attempt my dentist, just so you know, Suzanne.
I copied my daughter, who had done a lot of drawings of all the students I had. That she's very much an artist, and she does good caricatures.
Okay.
So it's kind of fun.
All right, let's look at that cinch sack again, because
Okay.
that's what I'm going to aspire to. Because would this not
Okay.
be so fun to use your kids' artwork, or to teach your kids or grandkids or other kids how to do it, or just do it yourself? I mean,
Well-
it is so cute.
I'm filling these up, and for Easter, I've got enough for the grandkids who live here. So I'm just going to fill it up, and I'm going to do these for them. It took, I bet you, it didn't take 10 minutes.
Really?
Seriously, yep.
After you practiced a bunch
Yes.
of times.
So,
okay, you have one more block
yeah.
that is amazing.
I have one that I'm trying now that I think I might try and frame, but I'm working on this one. So it's like I'm trying to do a little dandelion. So, I just go and I look at things that I've seen.
Right.
So I'm trying to do a little dandelion here. I don't know what this is. I don't have the
Check
stem
out
for
that
it yet.
bee.
That was so hard. It's really
Yeah,
tiny
that looks
too.
really hard.
But I'm just thinking, the more I practice, the more comfortable I feel. Also, another thing I might mention to you is if you're going to do something kind of big, this is fine. You can hold the edges and kind of move it like this. But if you're doing something kind of small, like you were working on, and also on this, you might want some gloves.
to give
The
you a
free
little
motion
grip?
gloves. Yeah. So it does give you some grip. Honestly, I thought about putting some color in here too, as far as green but
Well, that's what I was going to say. I saw, and I couldn't find it after I went back, but I saw it on Pinterest.
Mm-hmm.
And so I also put buttons on our under new releases.
Yes.
Because I thought, and now I saw this. Now, wouldn't this be fun? And this is more my speed. So, life according to Allison, if you use different greens and just went up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and did all of your greens,
Yes,
then
that would be
added your
so
buttons
cute.
on the top for
I think you
flowers.
showed that to me.
Yes,
Yep.
I showed that to you when you were doing
Yep.
it. And that was thread sketching.
Yes.
That they actually just did straight lines
Right,
and
it
did
looked
a
like
whole
grass.
bunch. Yeah, it
And
looked
then,
like
like,
grass.
flowers
and then,
popped up above it.
Yes, and
Yep.
so I
So
did put
cute.
buttons on if you want to pick up a bag of buttons. They're just the little mini buttons, and I thought that would be so fun, or to use button centers.
I was
for your
even thinking
flowers.
about putting some right here. I even considered putting little teeny tiny buttons out on the end of this.
Oh, that would be really fun.
Out on the end of this, like little, I guess I'd call it a seed pod, you know? It looks kind of like a seed pod to me.
Well, I need to put one more leaf on my, before we go to thing 3.
Where'd yours go? There it is.
Yep.
Yep.
Sorry, I just can't leave that half.
You've got to have the other half.
I've got to
here, too,
have the
leaf.
other half. So let me finish my sketch because
While you're doing that, I was just going to show, you know, this is like something I had for years. It was like from my daughter's high school, and I just pulled these out and just, they're kind of dried out, but like if you have some of this, even just colored pencils like this, if they're the kind that you can get wet and paint with, then that fills this in right here. You can do your painting first. I like this thread sketching because it's like an outline first, and then you can just kind of paint inside of it. So it worked out great for me. And hopefully the grandkids will like it, you know? Because it's going to be filled with Easter candy. Did you get your leaf?
I hope I've redeemed myself. I even put a vein in my leaf, so let's.
Yes, yeah. See, that's great.
That's not great, but that is a start.
First attempt, you guys.
Yes.
It's really good.
Everybody try it. We all have some scraps. We all have black thread.
Just try it.
Just try it and post what you've done, because this is a really, really fun technique. And like I said, Suzanne, if you wouldn't have made me do this today, I can honestly say I would not have done this.
It's not bad at all. And honestly, if you're using like an embroidery for thread too, the shininess of it, it really makes it pop. It works really well.
I can't wait to see your finished block when you get this one done.
I do want to finish this one.
Suzanne, promise to post it. You never post, so promise
Pinky
you
swear.
will. Pinky swear. All right, we are going to head back over, join Kris back on for thing number 3, so that I can share my crazy legend story
With a
that
good
is going
story,
down in history, and we will see you in just a minute.
Three Things Live is where we always have something to make you smile,
Something to learn.
and something to discover.
Let's go! We're going to help you create a quilt this year that not one other person on the planet will have, because it's your story.
Now, if you saw this, you would think it's a cute block, right? But it doesn't mean anything without the story that it comes on.
What we are going to invite you to do is that you're going to create a 12.5-inch unfinished block every month, according to a theme.
I pulled those clothes out and I sat and cried for probably an hour, because it was all of a sudden my dad's presence was there. I think that's my legend block.
I truly believe in life being a village and being a good villager. And this is a great way to leave my story so that my kids can see that being a good villager and telling their stories are important as well.
We would love to invite you to be a part of the Stitch Your Story Challenge for 2025.
These represent what I have done this last year. I've been to therapy, I don't know how many times, but this last year I could let go of a lot of things. I let go, and I am the happiest I've been for a long time.
I just know that as I'm putting my blocks together and that I'm remembering and I'm kind of digging in. And if you haven't jumped on the Stitch Your Story train, you know what? If there's a reason that you haven't, maybe you don't have the time, freedom, or that. But if you do, it has really been a little bit therapeutic.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Three Themes Live. We are now into theme number 3.
Right.
And you guys, I really enjoyed that little segment
Was that not
there.
so fun?
Great
Okay,
technique.
that was so fun. And I cannot wait to do it.
You're going to be great
Hey,
at it.
I gotta say though, they're with thread sketching, there's really no right or wrong way to do it.
Very true.
Because you make it intentional by going over and over and over the lines. And if you really want it to look like doodling, right? You want it to be curvy and there's no straight lines. I mean, that's what adds to the beauty of thread sketching, right?
Honestly, all the ones that I looked at and studied and, you know, just practiced, they look better when they're a little bit
Exactly.
wonky.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. So
it's
see,
okay to be
you
a little shaky.
you did
Well, let me
just
tell you
great.
why I was so afraid.
Okay.
Because in my stash, way at the bottom, I found this
Look at that.
Stitch 3D thread painting and sketching. I thought that maybe
Oh, it had to look like
it
that?
had to look like this.
Oh, heck no.
Let's check this out right here. Here I thought, I came today, let's look at this bag, that this is what we were doing, but this is what you could aspire to. Aren't these
That
absolutely
is
gorgeous with a
beautiful.
little bit of practice?
Yeah.
And they actually used a heavyweight
I was gonna say,
embroidery
it had to
floss
have been
with, yeah.
heavier than regular
Yes,
thread.
yes. So with this book, but I, in my own benefit, this is what I thought we were coming to do today. So
Are you glad we didn't?
Well, and for
I'm
those,
pitting out because it was so much easier.
And for those of you who are familiar with landscape
Yes.
quilting, right? A lot of artists, quilters, will actually use thread painting as their medium of being able to create the grass and the trees, and it's
Right.
all through thread. And so it's a little bit different from what we showed you today because there's actually not necessarily fabric involved. It is all thread, which is
Right.
really incredible as
Right.
well.
Right.
So what a discovery for
Yeah,
sure.
it's quite fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was
It's
really
sketching. Honestly, I just look at it this way. I think sketching is just like drawing with a pencil, and you know how sketching's always
So
a little
true.
bit,
And you're-
scratchy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so
and you're
true.
erasing with the eraser, and you
Yeah.
got your smudge on there.
All right. Well, Allison, we couldn't help but end the week. This is our last day of Three Queens Live
okay.
this week. And we're talking about legends. We're talking about the things that just are so funny that live down in our family history as part of the funny legends. And I think it's very appropriate that we end with your story, my friend.
All right, public service announcement.
Yes.
I think you all know, if you have a sensitive stomach, maybe it's time to turn up.
No.
No. Okay, so.
Dang, I haven't heard this story yet.
No. All right. So this is one that has gone down in the Hoth family legend. So this is a brand new legend that I will never hear the end of, but it's going to carry on. So this is my story. We have a wood-burning stove in our house, and so we go up in the mountains in the summer and cut our own wood. I have done this kind of my whole life, so of course I marry a man that loves this too.
Great.
And so you get up really early, and it's a ton of work. Well, also, I am a little allergic to bug bites, mosquito bites, gnat bites, those kind of things. So we went up to gather wood one summer, and I don't know what we hit, but there was a ton of mosquitoes up there that were just biting through. You wear long sleeves, you have the
Sure.
off. I mean, they were biting through everything. So when I came home, my arms were covered with bug bites, and so were my legs. So Jeff says, okay, we got to get out the Benadryl because my eyes will swell shut if I don't get right on it. So he comes with not one, but 2 Benadryls. Which, is going to knock me out. Good nap, right?
Absolutely.
But better than swollen eyes. So I take my 2 Benadryls, I have a good, nice long nap, and we were headed from our house in Idaho into Logan to dinner, and it's about a 30-minute drive. We had no sooner got on the road than I'm like, what is going on? I am so sick. I'm like, Jeff, you've got to pull over. So he pulls over, run into the gas station, come back out. 10 minutes later, I am so sick again.
Oh my gosh.
It was coming out the other end. Not throwing up, but I just had bad guts,
Thank
what he
you
would
for the
call
visual,
that.
Allison.
Yes. All night long, this went on.
Yeah.
Finally, I could not figure what was going in. I went in, and my husband had not got the Benadryl out of the cupboard. He'd got the other pink tablets, which were laxatives. And I took not 1, but 2 Benadryl. So the legend in our family
Benadryl.
is Benadryl.
Yeah.
Do not let my husband ever give you Benadryl.
Don't ever let him
So this
touch
isn't
the
your
pink
fault.
tablet.
It's just something funny that you did.
Right. And so it's the family legend that Benadryl at our house is the pink pill. So this is my block.
Okay.
Are you guys ready for my block? Well, it might look fine. It's pink, it's white, but this is the churn dash block because as soon as my stomach started to churn, I made the
do a
mad dash.
That is perfect, Allison. I
All right,
love
so
it.
your blocks
That was
don't have to
clever.
be
That was
anything
clever.
anything too fancy.
Exactly.
Because you know this is a really pretty block in my quilt, but unless you know the family legend about the Benadryl, you'll never get it.
Exactly.
They'll just think it's a
that
beautiful
is
block.
Perfect.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, that is absolutely perfect. What a great play on words there.
All right.
For
Well,
sure.
you know, so that's, I mean, you know, how else could I put that family legend in without making it a churn dash block?
I'm really glad you didn't paint the picture or anything.
Yes. Nobody
this
wants
is a
to
little
see
bit,
that.
yeah. That is great.
You can invite all of those with less than weak stomachs back into the room because
Yes.
we are done.
I love it. Oh my goodness, what a great way to end this week.
Yeah, that was
Thanks,
a
my
good one.
friend. All right, well, everyone, that wraps things up for us today. I hope you've enjoyed being with us this week as we've, taken a deeper dive into our Stitch Your Story movement. You know, every month, for the first week of every month, we're going to share with you a theme. We're going to invite you to share your story, and we really would love to see you make your blogs. And when you do, we hope that you will post them on our Friends of My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop page so that we can cheer you on, and we can all learn that, you know what, we all have a lot more in common than we think we do. Right? So with that, we appreciate you always being here and showing up. And if it's something that you think your friends would enjoy, we'd be so grateful if you shared it with them as well. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Keep doing all the things you love, and we hope to see you again real soon. Bye-bye.